ready to do this thing? Yeah, we're gonna see.
I wanna go home.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Live in Truth podcast. Happy Labor Day weekend. As always, I am maybe this time, for the first time, I am physically your producer, Sean. If you're listening to this, then I am just, as always, your producer, Sean. And I am joined physically by your host,
Nifiah. Hi, everybody.
Oh, sorry about that. Hi, everybody. This is our first time doing this. We're a little bit nervous. We can see ourselves in a monitor. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're so happy that you're seeing us. And it's Labor Day weekend. It is time for celebration, to give thanks and acknowledge the laborers who have built this country that we know and love, and a lot of times have done that through very rough conditions. So thank you to all of the laborers out there. Thank you to me. Thank you to Nifiah.
Yeah.
Thank you to our first responders. Thank you to our construction workers. Thank you to our architects, our city planners. Thank you to all of the laborers out there. We really appreciate you guys. I love living here, and I would like to keep doing so in a happy way.
Right. Labor Day weekend also symbolizes the end of summer. And usually this is celebrated with parades and picnics and barbecues. And then everybody has to go back to work or back to school. Sean, what is your favorite celebratory thing to do?
Well, I certainly do love a good parade. It's been a couple of years, I'm sure you can imagine, since I've actually been able to go out and see a parade in person. But I love... excuse me. I love, large inflatables, or when people, dress up the floats, I guess is more what I meant. People dressed up, doing dances, giant balloons with like SpongeBob on them,
I think you have the two parades mixed up.
Is that Thanksgiving?
That's Thanksgiving.
Either way, I love a parade. But I must admit that my favorite part is definitely that Labor Day barbecue, or the part where, everybody gets together, your group, your family, and you sit out or sit in, and everybody cooks or brings something and you chow down. That's my favorite part. What about you?
My favorite part of Labor Day is relaxing. It is normally a 3-day weekend. Some people make it a 4-day weekend. They take off Friday. You have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So my favorite part is relaxing, but I do love to eat. So, Sean, tell me some of your favorite picnic or holiday foods.
Well, I'm a sweets person, so I guess I'm going to jump right into the dessert part of it. I love after the meal. I love to get into the cookies, the ice cream. It's usually, because we're celebrating American workers, a lot of the times I see a lot of American themed desserts. So we might have cupcakes with red, white, and blue frosting, things like that. I'm a sweets guy, and you're not going to like this, but I love macaroni and cheese. I am lactose intolerant. It hurts me, but historically I have been willing to take the pain and, the rough trip to the bathroom to really enjoy just some homemade macaroni and cheese. And I know you're not going to like to hear that. A lot of our audience members aren't going to like to hear that. I'm trying to change. Maybe this Labor Day, I'll choose differently, or at least I'll do my best to.
So Sean said something very significant. Historically, a word he used, historically. So historically, we have celebrated Labor Day, 4th of July, any of our U.S. holidays in which we are off work or have the opportunity to get with family. We have celebrated those holidays with food, fun, and spirits. And historically, those cookouts, barbecues, and celebrations are generally filled with foods that make us very sleepy, very tired, not so much in a celebratory mood, and as well that make us sick. Sean just talked about his love of macaroni and cheese and the rough trip to the bathroom. So today we come to you all to let you know that you can still have those great barbecues and celebrations and spend good time with family, because that's really what we want to do, is spend time with family or spend time relaxing and enjoying some of the things we love. And you can do that without cutting your life short or having a rough trip to the bathroom, unless you eat something that's really, really, really bad. And so we'll talk a little about that today.
Yeah, I'm excited to do so. Like I said, I'm trying to make a change in my life, so I need to figure out the other avenues sooner than later. This holiday is coming up on us quick, so I've got to be ready going in. What are some of the things we're talking about?
So today, and kudos to Sean, today Sean tried jackfruit for the first time, and he tried corn on the cob for the first time. He didn't die.
It only took me being a 23-year-old man to be courageous enough to bite into corn on the cob.
So today, we're talking about how to celebrate in good health and eat well while you're having those celebrations. Again, you can still have those great cookouts and barbecues and big feasts and make different choices so that when you finish eating, you're energized, you're ready to go. Your mind is working. You're not sluggish and dragging. You don't have an upset stomach or need to run to the bathroom immediately. And so today we're going to talk about some of the recipes, some of the food that you can have that will, again, keep you alive, give you energy, help you to think well, and have fun.
All right, so the people want to know. Let's start off with the hearty, perhaps the savory. What is our main course?
So our main course would be pulled jackfruit, and it puts you in the mind of barbecue pulled pork or pulled chicken, whichever one you prefer. It is a jackfruit with a homemade vegan barbecue sauce prepared just like you would do any of your favorite meats. However, it is not high in saturated fats or oils, and it's absolutely delicious.
And like she said, she made a sampler of what is to come this Labor Day for our family. I tried it, and I must admit, it certainly does meet the criteria of a Labor Day meal. It certainly by smell and by look appears as exactly what you would be expecting at the barbecue. I was, it took me biting into it. I thought she was playing a trick on me. I'm going, well, there's no way. This isn't pulled pork or pulled chicken like she just described. It smells that way. It looks that way. And even biting into it, surprisingly for me, an extremely similar texture. The taste is different on its own, but once you add that homemade barbecue sauce with the hickory flavoring, and you can get into a little bit more of the ingredients of that, it really does taste fresh off of the grill, and it is satisfying. And like she started with, does not leave you feeling very heavy, certainly full. I don't mean to say you don't feel full, but not that heavy, sluggish, I want to tip over feeling.
Right. And jackfruit itself is just very versatile. You can use it in a number of recipes. And if you follow us at LIVNTRUTH.org or any of our social media sites, you can find many of the foods that we're talking about today and how to prepare them. I also made barbecue sauce. We love our condiments. We love our sauces, our ketchups, our mustard, all of our sauces. However, our barbecue sauces that we buy in the store are full of sugar, full of quote unquote natural flavors and other ingredients that we cannot pronounce. So I prepare a fully vegan barbecue sauce right here at home. And it is fresh tomato sauce, all of your favorite seasonings, liquid smoke, vegan soy sauce or tamari without the anchovies. Whatever your favorite seasonings are, and it's absolutely delicious. And to me, my opinion, it tastes better than any barbecue sauce that I've ever purchased from the store. And my husband concurs with that, and he really likes his store-bought barbecue sauce. In addition to the jackfruit, which we prepared as a sandwich with, we had fresh-made coleslaw with vegan mayo. We had a kale salad, sweet potatoes, corn on the cob, and our jackfruit was on a pretzel bun that does not have any eggs or milk or any of those byproducts in it. And then for dessert, because Sean does like sweets, we're going to have chocolate chip cookies, and they are vegan as well.
That is my favorite part. Those I have had plenty of opportunities to sample over the years. Truly, without a doubt, the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever had in my life.
Thank you, Sean.
It does not at all feel like they are missing egg or milk or whatever's not in them that may be in your batter for a typical non-vegan chocolate chip cookie. They're not missing it.
No,
they are delicious. They're gooey. They're soft. They stay soft. I would die for these chocolate chip cookies. They are that good. I don't know how else to put it. And like I started with, my dessert is my favorite part, and that's a big reason why. You know, when my mom brings stuff like that to the table, how can anything else top it? And I don't know about the chocolate chip cookies. That's more of a secret family recipe, but for everything else she's been discussing, as she said, you know, and you'll be able to find the recipes and images for these things on our website, LIVNTRUTH.org, or on any of our other social medias, which are somewhere here or here. I haven't decided yet, but they'll be somewhere around there.
And a good thing about it, Sean, you don't have to die for the chocolate chip cookies or die from eating the chocolate chip cookies, because they are not filled with things that are going to kill you. They are still good, and they do have sugar in them, but this is a treat. This is the time where you eat your sweet treat, not a dozen cookies, and you're not eating this every day. So this is your treat. And that's how we have to start thinking about what we're putting in our bodies and what we're eating. Why are we eating the food that we are eating? We're eating the food to nurture our bodies, to help them grow and to develop, to help our minds work properly, to strengthen us and to help us grow muscles. So what you put in your body is very, very important. And I'm not saying to take everything away. Again, we're having chocolate chip cookies. Although they're vegan, they are absolutely delicious. And they do have a component of sugar in them, but not what you would normally get if you bought store-bought cookies or even fresh-baked cookies from one of the cookie kiosks. What you put in your body is a temple. So what you put in your body should be building that temple to help make it strong. And then at the same time, you can have some fun with your desserts, as long as they are not healthy. They're not healthy. As long as they are healthy, and delicious.
And delicious they are. And as she touched on, you certainly have to have a certain level of discipline, which I lack. I would love to, between me and my dad, the tray is going down. You know, we need a mediator there to cut us off at the 2 mark so we can continue to live these healthy lives of vitality through intention that we don't have when, we sort of get into a cookie frenzy, for lack of a better term. Can we talk about maybe some alternatives, some other options that we have for the Labor Day meal, because you have so many recipes. What else would you feel to be fitting for this holiday?
Some other options that we have are vegan ribs. I don't like to even call them ribs because they are not from the rib of any type of animal. But they put you in the mind, and actually we were playing around with it. They put you in the mind of a riblet. And so we were playing around with the word wiblet because they are made from wheat and soy and water and seasoning. And those are really good. So if you wanted that grilled meat taste or similarity, that's another option that you could have. Did I talk about the sweet potatoes? Everybody loves sweet potatoes or yams for the holidays. You can have those. Those are already sweet and you don't need to add additional sugar. If you do want them a little sweeter, you can add agave or maple syrup, something that doesn't have such a high glycemic index. And again, that's not going to cause you to crash, but give you the energy you need to continue to go throughout the day, to run around with the kids, to play on the big slide, to play in the water, to dance, to do that hustle and all of that everybody wants to do. Your fruits and veggies, we talked about the corn, you could do green beans and potatoes. Your fruits, of course, I shouldn't say of course, that's the wrong thing to say, but watermelon. And now another discussion we had today, Sean had never, maybe not never, but hadn't recently seen a seeded watermelon because it's been so long that they have been in rotation. So because it's oblong shaped, he goes, I've never seen a watermelon shaped this way, but anybody who's my age or younger or older, then you know that a real watermelon and any real fruit should contain the seed. A seedless watermelon is round because it's genetically modified and it just doesn't taste as good. So you have your seeded fresh watermelon that you can have, your seeded fruits cut up in a nice fruit salad. There are so many options to have a plant-based barbecue or celebration that's just, in the end, you're going to feel so much better.
And like you just touched on, you want to eat in a way where you can still enjoy the day. Right. And it is not just plop down, everybody find a place to go to sleep, or we're all just sitting in the TV. After this recording, we plan to go out to the courts around us and play pickleball, which is a newfound passion of mine that I'm sort of trying to spread through the Live in Truth community. So we're going to do that after this recording. Can you get a little bit more specific about some of the things you intentionally do? You want to enjoy the eating you do on Labor Day, but what are some of the things going through your mind that help you to really stay intentional about your nutrition, and not go overboard, even when it comes to your sweet treats, not go overboard with the sugar or the additives to keep, things nutritionally helping you?
In my recipes, in my daily cooking, I just don't buy the things that are going to make my food a danger for me. So I don't have a bunch of sugar around because I knew I was going to make these cookies more for Sean, his partner, and my husband. I had to purchase sugar because I don't have sugar in the house. I am intentional about what I do. My sauces, I know that at the store, they're full of things that are not going to make me feel good. The different type of dyes, they are full of sugar. Again, these natural flavors that no one tells us what they are. When I can go to my garden, get tomatoes, boil them and puree them down for a fresh tomato sauce and add fresh seasonings and fresh herbs to my sauce and make it the best barbecue sauce that you've ever had. The same way with ketchup. It's just tomatoes, you all. And if anybody didn't know that, there you go. Ketchup is just tomatoes. And it should only be tomatoes and water, or your tomatoes and vegetable broth.
We're back. There were some slight technical difficulties. As you know, this is your first time seeing us. This is our first time doing this. We were just talking about some of the things that you intentionally do to, you know, keep things within your nutritional plan, even though we want to have a little bit of fun on these holidays. You were talking about how a lot of the ways you do that is simply keeping things fresh. You know, you use things fresh out of your garden that you grow. So to make your homemade barbecue sauce, you're not adding in a bunch of naturally flavored or artificially flavored things. You're going right out to the backyard, picking the specific herbs and spices you want and adding that directly in. So you're keeping it fresh, but you're also keeping it simple in ingredients, and you're not adding a bunch of random stuff that we don't even know what it is or what it means.
Exactly. And I know realistically everybody can't do that, and I'm being transparent. We live in Michigan. I can't do that year round. So I don't do that all the time, but you can still intentionally make good choices. So if you don't have fresh tomatoes, you can go to the store and get a tomato sauce. And all that should be in there is tomatoes, water, and maybe citric acid. That's it. Or it might say tomatoes, water, and salt. You shouldn't have a whole bunch of other things, colorings and flavorings and all of that. So you want to choose good products that you're using when you can't make them fresh. And I am intentional, Sean, because I know how I want to feel. I don't want to feel sick. I don't want to feel tired. As Sean already stated, we're going to play pickleball. I've never played before, but I still want to kick their butts or at least look like I can kick their butts. And so I want energy. We have eaten. Like Sean said, I did a sample of what we would have or might have on the holiday, and we have already eaten, and we're not tired. I mean, we like naps too, but
right, you know.
We love naps, but I don't feel tired. I don't feel sluggish. I'm actually energized and was psyched up to come and do the podcast because now I've eaten foods that are good for my brain, that help me to think, that make me feel good, gives me some clarity. So that's how I'm intentional. I don't want to put anything in my body that I know is going to kill me.
Yeah, and I second everything you said about how we're currently feeling due to your cooking choices and our eating choices. Now, to get specific to the people who are listening who maybe are suffering from chronic illness, what are some things that they really need to look out for, again, on a holiday where you're trying to enjoy yourself? You want to enjoy the food and the festivities, but obviously you may be dealing with something very serious and very dangerous. So how do those people navigate all of the options of the Labor Day barbecue or eat out?
And again, I'm a very realistic person. So I know someone listening to this podcast is not going to just change what they've been eating for the last 30 or 40 years. But again, you want to make better choices. So if there is pork, beef, chicken, sausage, hot dogs, try and limit that or not eat it at all and go for the salads or the pastas that are there. Hopefully they are not oil and cheese laden. The fresh fruits, the vegetables that are there. I know at every barbecue, there is green beans and potatoes. So go for that. limit the meat or don't eat it at all. Also limit the sweets. We had one sweet. Sean tried to con me into making 3 different desserts, but limit the sweets, limit the potato chips, and the sodas. I know this is a celebratory time, but if you are suffering from a chronic disease such as diabetes, you have gout, you have arthritis, which is inflammation, even asthma, you can't afford to continue to eat whatever it is you want to eat. It's important that you make better choices. You make those choices. You make changes quickly so as to start healing your body. The more meats and saturated fats and sugars and oils and salts you put in your body, excuse me, the faster, the more rapid your disease is going to exacerbate.
So it just ties back to what we were talking about a lot last week. And that just simply comes down to choice.
Right.
You know, sometimes and I know it's no fun to say, but you may have to sacrifice a little bit of your eating fun on these holidays if you are truly trying to make an internal change.
Right.
So that's just something to think about. And also, with everything good comes the need for moderation. So even our vegan cookies, like Nifiah was saying, even our vegan cookies, like Nifiah was saying, not a ton of sugar and not as much as you would find in a regular cookie. No dairy products, no poultry products. That does not mean it can just be a free-for-all.
Correct.
So moderation and intentionality, as we always preach, is sort of the key, even on these days where, you know, everybody sort of wants to pig out and just kind of enjoy.
Right. And even for me with my vegan cookies, of course, I have to taste it to make sure that everybody else is going to enjoy it. So I break a piece of one cookie, but I generally don't eat the cookies because I don't consume a lot of sugar. And that is super sweet to me. When you add those chocolate chips and that sweetens it. And so it's a lot of sweetness to me. When you begin to change your diet and you start to eliminate the amount of sugar you're taking in or just eliminate it, period, sweet foods do become very intense to you. So I can't even eat a full cookie and I guarantee you they're not even 2 inches big and I can't eat a full cookie. Is overwhelming. So as you begin to change your diet, there are things that is just going to be, what's the word I'm looking for, Sean? You're not going to desire it anymore. It won't be that important to you anymore. And as I've said before, it's not really the food that we are desiring at these celebrations. Well, some people sure. Only come for the food, but more importantly, it's the communion that we're desiring. So you can have that communion with your family, with your friends, and have good, nutritious, and healthy foods, which will allow you to have longer and better celebrations or celebrations for a longer time.
Yeah, and I second everything you just said. And I'm very much so looking forward to our upcoming Labor Day celebration and everything that you are going to bring to the table. In honor of Labor Day weekend, we are also going to start our weekend a little bit early. We are going to wrap this thing up. Again, I would just like to reiterate my gratitude to all of the labors over the generations and hundreds of years of this country who have helped to build it and to keep it running. I would like to shout out New York City for being the first state to have a large-scale Labor Day celebration in, I believe, 1882. They were not the first state to acknowledge Labor Day, but They were the first state to have sort of that large celebration, parade style celebration.
I think the first year was 1874 is when we started to acknowledge Labor Day. I believe so.
You could be right. And I think that was happening in the Pacific Northwest, the first state to sort of acknowledge it as a holiday. It might have been Oregon. I could be wrong. I'll put it up on the screen if I am incorrect. In honor of school getting started, good luck to everybody going back, no matter if you're in K through 12 or in university, especially those who go to MSU. Go green.
Go white.
You guys don't know this, but it has taken a lot for her to get to the point where she can even, respond the correct slogan.
Well, I did give them a lot of money, and he did finish very well. So go green, go white.
That's right. They've earned it. Everybody enjoy your long weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Live in Truth podcast. Stay connected with all things Live in Truth by checking out our webpage, livintruth.org. Follow us at livin.truth on Instagram and at livintruth on all other platforms. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Schedule your consultation with Nifiah today and start living an intentional life of vitality through nutrition.